Welcome back to my channel and welcome back to Daily Thoughts. Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel, and don't forget to hit that bell so you are notified of all my upcoming content. Today my Daily Thoughts is on Generation Jones versus Generation X. Key differences between these two overlooked generations. So, let's get into my Daily Thoughts. While much attention is given to baby boomers and millennials, two generations often overlooked in cultural discussions are Generation Jones, my generation, born 1954 to 1965, and Generation X, born 1965 to 1985. Some examples of Generation Jones are former President Barack Obama, who was born in 1961 and is the only Generation Jones president. We also have the late Eric Easy Wright, who was born in 1964, and we have both Michael Jackson and my favorite artist, Prince, who were both born in 1958. Some examples of Gen X are rapper, actor, and activist, the late Tupac Shakur, who was born in 1971, Aaliyah, who was born in 1979, Lisa Left Eye Lopez, who was born in 1971, Beyonce, who was born in 1981, and the late Notorious B.I.G., who was born in 1973. These two generational cohorts have distinct experiences, values, and societal impacts shaped by the eras in which they came of age. Understanding their differences provides insight on how historical events, economic shift, and technological advancements influence their worldviews. So let's define the two generations. Generation Jones, sometimes called the lost generation between boomers and Gen X, is named for the idea of jonesing, longing for the prosperity promised to boomers but never fully realized. Coming of age in the 1970s and early 80s experienced economic stagnation, Watergate, and the end of Vietnam War. While Generation X, known as the latchkey generation due to rising divorce rates and dual income households leaving them more independent, and coming of age in the 1980s and early 1990s, witnessed the rise of personal computing, the AIDS crisis, and grunge culture, often characterized as cynical, adaptable, and self-reliant. While there are similarities between Generation Jones and Gen X, there are some key differences, including economic experiences. The majority of Generation Jones entered the workforce during the 1970s oil crisis with stagnation and high unemployment. They expected the same economic stability as boomers had faced, but instead had downsizing and corporate restructuring in the 1980s. More are likely to have traditional pensions, but also carried early credit card debt. Here's their Generation X counterparts entered the workforce during the 1980s Reaganomics era. Some thrived while others faced income inequality. First generation to experience the decline of pensions and the rise of 401ks, and are more likely to be financially cautious. And they witnessed the dot-com bubble and 2008 financial crisis, and this shaped their distrust of institutions. Another area of differences is technological adaptation. Jen Jones remembers life before personal computers, but adapted to early tech like landlines, VCRs, and cable TV. They used technology at work, fax machines, and early email, but were not digital natives, whereas our Generation X counterparts were the first generation to grow up with home computers such as the Apple II and Commodore 64. They adapted quickly to the internet, cell phones, and social media, bridging analog and digital worlds, and were more likely to be early adapters to tech startups. Examples is Google and MySpace were founded by Gen X, whereas Amazon founder Jeff Bezos, born in 1964, is a Gen Jones. Another area is cultural and social values. Generation Jones is influenced by post-civil rights movements, second wave feminism, and the sexual revolution, are more idealistic in youth and became pragmatic due to economic letdowns. Musical tastes include disco, classic rock, and early hip-hop, which FYI, Generation Jones created. Whereas our Generation X counterparts are shaped by MTV, punk rock, grunge, and hip-hop's golden age, are more cynical with a whatever attitude, slacker stereotype, and embrace DIY culture with independent films, zines, and indie music. Another area is work ethic and career attitudes. For Generation Jones, we tend to be more loyal to employers, believing in climbing the corporate ladder. We also work long hours but resent boomers who monopolize all of the leadership roles. I can attest to that being true, because guess what? Our current president is what? A boomer. Generation X, however, tend to be job hoppers, skeptical of corporate loyalty after seeing layoffs in the 1990s. They prioritize work-life balance, hence the rise of casual Fridays, and are more entrepreneurial spirited, with many startups being founded by Gen Xers. Understanding these generational distinctions helps explain why Gen Jones feels caught between boomers and Gen X because they expected stability but got economic turbulence, why Gen X is more adaptable and distrustful of institutions because they grew up amid social and financial upheaval, and how workplace dynamics differs. Gen Jones values seniority while Gen X value autonomy. Generation Jones and Generation X may be adjacent in age, but their experiences, values, and outlooks are markedly different. While Gen Jones longed for the American dream but faced setbacks, Gen X grew up expecting instability and learned to navigate it. Recognizing these differences helps in leadership, marketing, and intergenerational communications. By understanding these two generations, we gain insight on how historical context shapes attitudes, behaviors, and societal contributions. I hope that today's daily thoughts have been interesting and helpful to you. I will leave my references down in the description of this video. I hope that you leave me a comment and let me know what you think about today's topic. Also, I'd love it if you follow me on my other social media. Please follow me over on TikTok and Instagram as DC The Purple Diva. And you can find me on my other YouTube channel, The Purple Diva Den, where I do spoken word. I'll see you guys in the next one. Until then, peace and blessings from the West Side. I'm out, you guys. Bye.